Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of the Virtual Island Summit. Thank you so much for joining us for this session. My name is Grace Henry, and I'm the project manager here at Island Innovation. I am based in Jamaica. Island Innovation is a sustainable development consultancy primarily focusing on islands. Our services include island development strategies, impact program design coordination, capacity building, events, strategic communications, and government affairs. We are trusted by clients around the globe, and if you're interested in learning more about our work, please reach out to us using the contact information available in the chat. I am very happy to be presenting this session titled Energy Efficiency First, a fireside chat on Cayman's energy journey sponsored by the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency of Cayman Island. Before we begin, you should see a poll appear now on your screen. Please let us know your gender, where you're connecting from, and the sector and industry you belong to. All right, I am seeing persons join from Jamaica, from Haiti, Papua New Guinea. So welcome all to this session. And I want to just thank you for joining us for this engaging conversation with the Cayman Islands Minister for Sustainability and Climate Resiliency, Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, as we delve into the Cayman Islands national energy policy and the significant strides made by the ministry to influence both individuals and industries to consider energy consumption as a first line of action. In this fireside chat, we will explore the development and triumphs of the national energy policy, highlighting impactful initiatives and partnerships which have positively transformed the lives of Caymanians. I invite you to make use of the chat function to introduce where you're joining from and make any comments during the session. Of course, if you have questions, please send your questions to this email, sustainability@gov.ky. That's sustainability@gov.ky. All right. So the poll results are here. Welcome all. I am seeing you from Cook Islands, Trinidad, Florida. Are the results in? All right. Well, at this time, I am going to be handing over to our moderator, Daphne Ewing Chow, environmental journalist.
Hi, Grace. Thank you so much for that introduction. And I'm just delighted to be here today to engage in this discussion with Katherine Ebanks-Wilks, Cayman Islands Minister of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. We are going to be talking about energy first, and we'll be discussing Cayman's energy journey. Welcome, Katherine.
Thank you very much, Daphne. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's just set the stage here. Cayman is a small island developing state. Small population, faces a lot of similar problems as other small islands. Can you give me an idea of some of the sustainability challenges and opportunities that Cayman faces in the transition to renewables?
Yes, Daphne. Well, like many of the island nations, the Cayman Islands are highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. And we have experienced several major storms over the years that have underscored just how much climate change affects our communities. As a matter of fact, over the next few days, we are commemorating the, I guess you call it anniversary, 20 years since Hurricane Ivan hit the Cayman Islands. And it's events like these that have brought significant challenges, but they've also opened up new opportunities for us here. And since the introduction of our national energy policy in 2017, we have seen a shift in the public's perception of renewable energy and environmental sustainability. And while our current renewable energy uptake stands at only 3%, I'm encouraged by how actively our residents are engaging in the conversation and also supporting the transition. And I guess one of the key factors or challenges that we face, like most small islands, is limited land space. However, we've turned this into an opportunity by exploring innovative solutions that allow for more rooftop solar installations, which make the most of available space that we have by using buildings. And we recently added a 20 megawatt battery storage energy system to our grid. And then we're also working on energy efficiency measures across various sectors. Some of them include buildings, communities, and transportation to, I guess, essentially reduce overall energy consumption. The Cayman Islands currently relies heavily on imported fossil fuels, which impacts, electricity, water, transport, and therefore it makes us vulnerable to global oil price fluctuations. And our tropical climate also drives up energy demand, particularly for air conditioning. I mean, any of you that are online here from the Caribbean, it's hot. And so, keeping your homes cool can be very costly. And these factors create both financial as well as technical challenges. But we're head on. And what we've done is we've launched public awareness campaigns, and we're securing funding through international partnerships such as the UK government's Green Overseas Programme, as well as, I'm not sure if many of you have heard about the EU's RESEMBID initiative. But these collaborations provide us here in the Cayman Islands with the resources and expertise needed for us to move the needle forward. We've trained public sector facility managers as well in the energy audit process and empowered our residents with tools for our DIY energy audits. So I know it's been a mouthful there, Daphne, but in addition to our concerted domestic efforts, the Cayman Islands really benefit from the invaluable access to technical expertise, financial support, and also international partnerships, which facilitated by our status as a British overseas territory.
Now, I'm hearing, sorry, you were saying?
I was just going to say, through those efforts, and in the partnerships that we do have, it gives us confidence in our ability to really advance our renewable energy goals forward. Even though, yes, we do have challenges, we're going to look at it from the positive standpoint on all of the benefits and resources that have been afforded to us.
That's amazing. And what I'm hearing you say is while Cayman faces challenges as a small country, you're turning these into opportunities. Obviously, the dominant focus of our discussion centers around the national energy policy, which, as you said, was implemented in 2017. The most recent version was only very recently approved, a huge victory for your ministry in April 2024. So that's obviously something to be celebrated. However, you are still working through these challenges. As you said just now, Cayman only has an adoption rate of renewables of 3%, which is quite low. But on the upside, within the national energy policy, there is this target of getting to 100% renewables in 2045 or by 2045. And then there's an interim target of 30% by 2030, which of course some people might say it's quite ambitious, especially in the light of the challenges that you would have just mentioned. Can you speak more to that and maybe answer that question? Like, what would you say to naysayers who are saying you're being overly ambitious in your national energy policy?
Absolutely. But before I do, you touched on the fact that we just recently updated the policy. And I feel like it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge the former minister who worked very hard to, he had it almost to the finish line. And then I took on the role as minister. So I just wanted to acknowledge, all of his hard works. And, I guess we were touching a bit about, just one second, having some technical. So you were asking a bit about our policy, the targets. And one of the things that the updated policy sets out is it also has a strategic interim target of 30% renewables by 2030. And like you said, some may say that, the targets are aggressive, but bold steps are really needed to keep pace with the rest of the world on the renewable energy journey. And it also demonstrates that the Cayman Islands government is committed to tackling climate change, not only for our people, but also for our neighboring Caribbean islands, as well as the rest of the world. And the new implementation plan outlines a series of strategic initiatives which are slated for execution over the next 5 years. And these initiatives are all aimed at bolstering our progression towards achieving 100% renewable energy penetration by 2045. And these priorities encompass various facets, each designed to propel us closer to our ultimate goal. So like they say, aim for the stars. So that's what we're doing here.
That's amazing. And obviously, one of the facets of the plan that really stands out is its overwhelming focus on people and sustainable progress. And I know that there are 4 pillars that underline the national energy policy, one of which is socioeconomic sustainability. I just wanted to ask a question about that because there is one program that has received quite a bit of publicity. It was implemented in 2023, the Cayman Home Energy Efficiency Retrofits Program, the CHAIR program. Could you tell me more about that program and how it helps to foster socioeconomic stability within the Cayman Islands and this the progress towards energy efficiency and move towards renewables?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you made mention of one of the pillars. So I just wanted to just, for the benefit of who are doing today, the National Energy Policy has 4 main goals. 1, knowledge and education. The second is becoming a destination of excellence. 3, energy security. And as you mentioned, Daphne, socioeconomic and environmental sustainability, which is, it focuses on sustainability, which is critical to ensuring that cost-effective and sustainable energy is indeed available to everybody, all the residents here in the Cayman Islands. And as a part of this commitment, we did launch the Cayman Home Energy Efficiency Retrofits. We call it CHAIR, acronym CHAIR here in the Cayman Islands. That was launched in July of 2023. And this initiative provides energy efficiency retrofits to homes, which assists Caymanian homeowners by allowing them to save on their energy bills, while also making their homes, again, going back to the heat, much more comfortable. So far, what we have here in what we've dealt with is about approximately 29 homes, which we have selected for retrofits, with a particular focus on insulating the homes and upgrading them to newer, higher SEER rated air conditioner units. And the feedback from the homeowners has been overwhelmingly positive. Many of them have shared how they're already noticing a difference in their homes, better sleep, and we're excited to continue working with these homeowners. We also will be following up to monitor on how these changes have impacted their energy charges with, their bills. And this program, the CHAIR program, is just one of the ways that we are working to make energy efficiency accessible to everyone. It helps to support, both social and the economic sustainability in our community. And it's targeted primarily to members of our society who would be deemed as vulnerable. So the individuals that we've targeted have been the elderly, persons with disabilities, people with young children, and also, just those who are, on a lower salary scale that are having difficulty with not being able to afford to pay their electricity bills.
Amazing. I think it really reinforces the whole notion of keeping the people at the center of the policy. Can you just tell me, with respect to the program that you just outlined, whether there are any lessons that you learned in this implementation that you would apply to future programs in the same area of energy efficiency?
Yeah, what we did learn is that through the initial implementation of CHAIR, is that there is definitely a desire and an appetite among the community to engage in energy efficient modifications. And we're also having the benefit of seeing the importance of community engagement and the need for tailored solution for different households. Every home is built differently. We're also learning to consider, building homes sustainably from the beginning. So getting this information out to, new homeowners so that they don't have the cost of having to make these changes after the fact, which makes, efficiency a little bit harder to achieve. And these insights, continue to guide the expansion of our energy efficiency incentives and the development of, what we hope to see more inclusive programs in the near future.
Amazing. And speaking of efficiency, I just want to flip to a quick question about a relationship that is not typically so efficient, which is the relationship between government and utility companies. I know obviously the move to renewables, this transition can often be fraught with friction. And I was just wondering what the relationship is between government and utility providers on island, whether there is a healthy working relationship, or how is that going?
Actually, here in the Cayman Islands, one of the things that we do have is we have the benefit of having utility providers that understand the importance of our need to transition to renewable energy and also the benefits that it will have to our islands. And they too have had their own ambitious commitments in line with the policy. And in terms of our utility providers, we have, I guess, developed a relationship with our provider, the energy providers, and our regulator. And so in addition to amending or updating the policy, the implementation committee encompasses collaboration with the regulator, the utility provider, as well as the ministry. And so, we know each stakeholder has challenges, but by taking a collaborative approach, we will continue to work together as one team because, we all have the same objective, and we will lean in, I guess, with each other to look for new opportunities and solutions to hopefully make the lives of our people better.
That's great. And speaking of opportunities and partnerships, obviously the reason that many people might be viewing this conversation today is that they want to get involved. They want to play a part in this new development in Cayman. What would you tell interested parties who either want to partner with your ministry or invest in Cayman's transition to renewables?
Well, I do hope that we have some of those individuals on watching today, Daphne, because private investment is going to be absolutely essential to assist us with achieving our renewable energy goals. And our regulator, it's the Utility Regulation and Competition Office, is responsible for managing the bids for utility scale renewable energy projects. I'll refer to them as OFREG. That's what we call them here in the Cayman Islands. And OFREG ensures that the bidding process is transparent with all of the details published on their website. And in addition to that, the Cayman Islands government has a unit, procurement unit. And so in addition to OFREG posting it on their site, the procurement unit has this information on their platform as well. So this will allow any interested person the access to the information that would be required in terms of making any decisions for future investments. So right now, OFREG is overseeing our first for utility scale solar and also for battery storage projects on Grand Cayman. And we're already seeing great progress with a list of qualified bidders who've identified for this initial phase. And the entire procurement process for renewable energy projects has been designed to be transparent and accountable. And all RFQs and RFPs, are published on the sites that I just mentioned, which makes it easy for everyone or anyone really who is interested in participating. So here's my plug for any private investors and stakeholders, just inviting you to explore these opportunities and become active partners in Cayman's renewable energy transition. We need you.
That's amazing. So just to reinforce that plug, you have the Minister of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency of Cayman inviting investors and people who wish to partner with the government in Cayman's journey to renewables to reach out and partner. And the process, as I've heard, is both fair and equitable. So everybody has an opportunity to put in their bid for projects. Moving back to the national energy policy, this is obviously something that is very exciting to the Cayman public. You definitely integrated the people of the Cayman Islands in the process of implementing the policy. And as I just mentioned, the cabinet approved the most recent version, which is very exciting as well. What can we look forward to in the future?
Well, what can I say? I guess first, let me just paint a little picture, which is that when the first policy was passed in 2017, the review period was 5 years. And so now that that review period has been conducted and we now have an updated policy, what was decided is that it will be reviewed rather than every 5 years. We're going to review it in 2 years. And this is to ensure that, to go back to your earlier question about whether or not our targets are really achievable, we have a different time frame to look at those goals and also the implementation plans, just to keep up with the technical advancements and are evolving. I mean, as everybody sees, everything is constantly changing with our environmental conditions. And as a part of that, what you can also expect to see is, hopefully expanded energy efficient programs. And again, I'll put a plug out there, hopefully more partnership with our utility provider and the ministry, and ongoing updates to the policy, which we hope to incorporate, again, new technologies and of course, best practice.
Amazing. And what advice would you give to other island nations who are going through a similar process in implementing energy efficient programs?
What advice? Well, I guess I need to first say that, like many countries, the Cayman Islands, you heard our target, we're at 3%. We're still learning as we go. And we definitely do not have all of the answers. But one thing that has worked really well for us here in the Cayman Islands is putting people at the heart of our programs. And we've made a big effort to engage with stakeholders and gather feedback from our residents, which has helped us to not only generate interest, but also secure buy-in from the community. And I think that is critical. And so I guess if I could give advice, my advice would be to other island nations is really just to focus on community engagement and get your people involved and make sure that their voices are heard. Um, for example, here, my ministry will be hosting a booth at a local builders expo this weekend. And the purpose of that is just to share information about our energy efficiency projects and show people actual results of the impact of retrofitting homes with energy efficient materials. Because as we all know, sometimes getting buy-in is, as they say, seeing is believing. So being able to hear some, real life stories. And another thing that has been critical for us with assisting us with rolling out some of these programs is ensuring, that you secure diverse funding sources and then tailoring your programs to meet local needs, because what we might need here in Cayman might be different from what Grace needs in Jamaica, right? So every island is different. So being able to be flexible and not trying to take a cookie cutter approach. And then I guess the last thing I would say is just tap into our international partners, collaborate with them, and utilize the support and resources that they have available. And I guess they say every little change makes a difference. So even small changes in how businesses and homes use energy can make a big difference. And so what we have is the ministry has an energy unit, and they have created an energy audit. So that is free to anyone who would like to download an energy audit. You can find it at www.gov.ky/energy. So just those are a few things that may be useful if anyone would like to lean into what we've been doing.
That's fantastic. I think for myself personally, as a resident of the Cayman Islands, I've always been impressed with how people-centric your approach is. And it's not just part of your policy, it really is in action. So I do commend you for that. And speaking of your people-centered approach, obviously, one of the most valuable subgroups of your population, of your people, are the youth. And I know that for you as a mother, the youth are very dear to your heart. I was just wondering how you engage with and educate the younger generation about the importance of energy sustainability and their role within the national energy policy.
Well, I think that's the question of the day, Daphne, is how do we engage with our youth? Because, their platforms they're also ever evolving. So tapping in to ensure that we are, really engaged with what the next generation is focusing on. And that should be something that every government should prioritize. And so, our transition to renewable energy is an incredible opportunity for all Cayman residents, but especially our youth, to pave a way for them to have a more sustainable, resilient, and of course, prosperous future. And I am so excited because the young people here in the Cayman Islands are very vocal, very engaged, and they certainly share their feedback with the ministry and the ministry team. And, we want to build a future where Caymanians can spend their hard-earned money on what truly matters to them and their families. And I'm sure the cost of electricity isn't just expensive in the Cayman Islands, it's throughout the Caribbean. And for us, we want to make sure that our local residents are not working just to pay electricity bills. And by embracing renewable energy, we are also securing a stable energy future and opening up new job opportunities. I think that is something that our younger generation is certainly excited and passionate about. And the policy's goals, particularly in knowledge and education, and also becoming a destination of excellence. It emphasizes the importance of teaching our youth about sustainability, and then again, leaning in on them, our leaders in this area. And so for us to achieve this, I think it's critical for us to try to find ways to engage with younger Caymanians. What the ministry has been doing is we've been doing school programs. We've been getting into the schools and doing planting initiatives just to get information out to the children while they're fairly young. Also interactive workshops. And then just trying to partner with some of the educational institutions to just forge relationships from now. Even sports, we've recently just sponsored a few sporting events so that we can have just a few minutes during intermission to share a little bit about how important sustainability is. And we believe that educating and empowering our youth is really the key to making a lasting progress in our journey to what I think all of us are here about today, which is to get to that place of progressing sustainably.
I really, listening to what you're saying, I feel like you touched on all four of the pillars towards achieving your goals under the National Energy Policy, which tells me the answer is through the youth. And obviously through the people of the Cayman Islands. So hats off to you for the progress that you've made, for your humility in saying we don't have all the answers. I guess we're all in this together, and opening your doors to the public if anybody wants to get involved, just to reach out. I know we've reached the end of our time, and I don't think there's time to take questions, but I do want to let anybody who's in the audience know that if you do want to ask any questions to Minister Ebanks-Wilks, you can reach her. Just write down this email address, and I believe that it was actually put in the chat earlier. You can reach the minister at sustainability@gov.ky.
And Daphne, can I just chime in to say that I am not only looking for questions, but if anyone has any suggestions, or if you feel that there's something that you've been doing that we could benefit from here in the Cayman Islands, please also do share. I would certainly pass it along to the ministry team.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Minister, and thank you for joining me in this chat. And I would say good evening to everybody and hand it back over to Grace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daphne and Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks. And once again, thank you so much for joining us all. For those of you who might have missed it, we announced very exciting news earlier during our opening session. Island Innovation is partnering with the government of St. Kitts and Nevis to host the second Global Sustainable Island Summit. After this year's experience in Prince Edward Island, the Caribbean now takes the spotlight. The summit will be held from May 27th to the 29th, 2025, and we will be discussing solutions and advancements in sustainable energy. Please note that all attendees of the Virtual Island Summit can get an additional discount on the early bird tickets using the coupon VIS 2024. And you can check out that information in the chat. This is the last session for day 2 of the Virtual Island Summit. And so see you tomorrow for day 3 for exciting sessions to include a fireside chat on the green initiatives in an island biosphere, the road to COP29, island priorities for Baku, and so much more. Remember to follow us on Instagram at _island innovation. That's _island innovation. Until then, see you.